Yo, what's up guys, Genius X here, and today we're going to be bringing you my week 4 game of Hive Beedrill, and I'm actually pretty excited to be bringing you this game since it was a really good game on both sides, and I feel like it's really worth sharing. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So what we have here is against Justin and the Tustin Tyranitars, who is also the winner of last year March Madness, I want to say, or was it Summer Showdown? I think it was March Madness. So yeah, as you can see, he has a really starting draft with Megalopony, Sundrus, Clefkey, Volcarona, Milotic, Muck, Rotom, Gigalith, Plowsand, Azelf, and Stoutland. So overall, I feel like this matchup is a bit in his favor, considering how Muck is just such a nuisance to my team. Even though I have Terrakion, Lando, and Zard. But like all these three mons get walled absolutely by Palossand and Milotic. So his defensive core of Muck, Milotic, and Palossand are just annoying as fuck for me to deal with. And Sundrus and Lopunny are a bit annoying as well. But like the main problem here is definitely going to be Milotic, Muck, and Palossand. That's going to be the main core that I'm going to have to be able to break through this game. So moving on, what I do expect him to bring is, of course, the Milotic, Muck, and Palossand. These three just absolutely just wall my whole team. My only way of beating all three mons is with Celesteela, a wall breaking set, which is why I have a very special Celesteela set to be able to break past all these members, even though it lacks coverage for stuff such as Sundrus. And then next up, I do expect the Sundrus, of course, to check my Celesteela and potentially a defensive Starmie. Possibly Psychnium Z for the Rose Raid, but he can also bring Bulk Up and Z Fly. I can see either coming. So last but not least, I do see I also do see Lopunny coming, and definitely the Azelf. The reason I see Azelf coming is because CM or Nasty Plot Azelf pretty much should 6-0s my whole team outside of Drapion, which is pretty bad against the rest of his team. And after an MP, it can just go for a Thunderbolt on my Celesteela, Psychic for Zard, Thunderbolt for Starmie, Psychic for Rose Raid, Psychic for Lando, Psychic for Terrakion, Psychic, and you get the idea. So Life Orb itself is a huge fucking threat, and like the only mon that outspeeds it on my team is nothing, so I have to run a Scarfer to be able to deal with it, which is why Azelf is a large threat as well. So I do expect Lopunny, Sundrus, Milotic, Muck, Palossand, and Azelf. And yeah, so moving on straight into the team builder, I feel like I brought a really good team for this match actually, and here we have. So we have a Yachi Berry Landorus with EQ, Source Dance, Stone Edge, and Superpower. Yachi for the potential HP Ice from the Sundrus or the Ice Punch from the Mega Lopunny. EQ is to hit everything. Stone Edge for the Sundrus, and Superpower for the Clefkey. So the main purpose of this set is to just break past his walls such as Milotic and Palossand. And yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Max speed is to speed towards the Sundrus. So yeah, this is going to be my main breaker of the team. Next up, we're going to have a Scarf Terrakion. It's going to be Dual Stab, Toxic, and Stealth Shock. As I said, Azelf is a huge fucking nuisance to my team, so I definitely need the Scarfer to deal with it. And if my Landorus isn't Scarfed, then my Terrakion has to be Scarfed. So we have Rocks, because I do really want Rocks to be able to chip down the Sundrus, because as you can see later, my Celesteela is going to really appreciate the chipping from the Rocks. And it can also help greatly as the Milotic, considering it's most likely going to be Flame Orb. So yeah, Rocks is really important for this match. Dual Stab Toxic is just if I can catch a Palossand or a Milotic before its Flame Orb activates, then that would be really great. Not only for my Landorus, it's also going to be great for my Charizard, as you can be able to see later. So next up, we are going to have my Cofagrigus. This is going to be my dedicated check to the Lopunny. We have Rest if he wants to run Toxic. Will-O-Wisp for the Muck, Shallow Ball, and Calm Mind. Calm Mind is because I do want to be able to threaten out his Milotic. I don't want to be walled by Milotic and be able to give him a free rest. Free recover, and after his Muck goes down, then this set just goes ham vs him. So yeah, next up we're gonna have a Charizard, Source Dance, Flame Charge, EQ, Dragon Claw. This is gonna be my main win con of this game, and I do feel like it has an extremely good potential of winning. Source Dance into Dragon Claw does huge damage to my Milotic. It does around 46 to 57. I want to say, yeah, 46 to 57, that's the calc, with a Adamant Declaw. So it's really threatening vs his team. And Flame Charge is to boost speed, so I can outspeed the Lopunny and the Zelf and the Sundrus. which is really crucial. And at +2/+1, I can pretty much just win after I weaken his Milotic. And Declaw is my mandatory stab move that I'm going to be clicking like majority of the time in this game. EQ is for the Gigalith. I could have definitely run Roost over EQ, which would have been actually better during the game since he didn't bring Gigalith, but I couldn't risk him bringing Gigalith and me not having coverage for it. That would have just been horrible. So yeah, moving on, we're gonna have, I also have a lot of HP investment to be able to tank a lot of hits because I don't actually need max speed, and Adamant just to hit hard as possible since I need this to be able to break past my Milotic. So next up, we are gonna have a pretty special Starmie set with Scald, Skill Swap, Recover, and Rapid Spin. As I said, Charizard is my win con and it has no recovery, and if he's gonna bring Palossand, he's gonna have rocks. So I do need a removal for this game. So I'm gonna bring Rapid Spin and a slightly defensive Starmie. Scald because I can potentially burn the Muck Alola or the Alola Muck. And Skill Swap is obviously for the Sundress, so he can't actually break past me, and Recover for reliable recovery. So yeah, pretty standard set. This set is really just for the remove of hazards, really nothing else. Yeah, so moving on, we have the next most important Pokemon of this game. We're gonna have Celesteela. So we have a Leech Seed, a Top-Optimized Metal Sound, and Air Slash set. This set isn't really a sweeper. It's really just to be able to break it's there to beat Milotic, Muck, and Palossand, basically. So, Metal Sound, if you didn't know, lowers the target split F by 2. So what that means is that Milotic, Muck, and Palossand actually can't beat Celesteela. Turk brought a gravity Palossand in the mock, so this can Metal Sound into 2 Air Slashes, just kill the Palossand and or severely weaken it. And we have Z Flanium for a weaken Muck / Milotic. So the premise of this team is basically just to weaken his defensive checks with Celesteela and Landorus, and just gonna go for a game with my Charizard. So I feel like it's a really solid team, and I have a really good chance of beating him if I do predict what he brings correctly. Yeah, so let's get straight into the game here. So right here, you're gonna see he brings his pretty much what I expect. So this defensive core and 3 offensive mons. So right here, I know he's gonna lead off either with his Palossand or his Sundress or his Azelf. So I feel like my Starmie covers the majority of that because I don't want him to get up rocks with Palossand turn 1. And if he leaves his Palossand, then I can get off a huge Scald on the Muck, and I can scout his sets, and if I burn him, then that would be huge for me. So I'm going to go off and lead with the Starmie, as he's actually going to go off and lead with this Lopunny. So right here, there are a few different plays I can make. So he could go hard into his Muck right here, or he's going to go for a Fake Out. So what I thought was like, I can go into Cofagrigus, but if he goes into Muck, then I'm in a big trouble. So I'm going to go a bit aggressive turn 1, and I know he's not going to go for the fighting move. So I'm going to go hard into my Terrakion because it covers both the Fake Out and the double into Muck. So he's going to go for the Fake Out, and right here, I know he's not going to stay in. He's either going to go for the Milotic or Palossand, and I'm going to fire off a Toxic on the incoming switch in. So he's going to go into Palossand. Shame I couldn't get the Milotic. That would have been really good. But right here, I know he's going to go for his rocks. I could have gone hard into my Starmie right here, but the reason I don't want to do that is because Muck, I still don't know the set of his Muck. So I'm actually going to go into my Celesteela instead. So he's going to go for his rocks right here. I can get off a free Leech Seed if he wants to go into his Sundress, and I can chip that down for my Celesteela late game. So he's actually going to go stay in and go for the Gravity. So right here, I decided I'm actually going to fire off my Z, because a regular Air Slash does about 20 to 30% to this Palossand, and he can actually shore up easily. And I believe that he's actually going to stay in, because he already set up his Gravity on the Celesteela, so I don't see why he wouldn't stay in after this. If he wanted to go into Sundress, he would have gone into a turn 4, not the turn after he set up Gravity. So I was like, oh, he's probably going to stay in. But he actually pulls a really good play and baits out my Z and goes into a Sundress. So that was a really good play by Justin, and it's going to come into impact later on in the game. So right here, he baits out my Z, which is really good for him. So puts me in a pretty bad situation straight away because rocks are up on my field and I wasted my Z. Right here, I know for a fact he's probably gonna go for his he's probably gonna go for a Thunderbolt, because the reason I would think that is because he doesn't know my Celesteela spread yet, and Celesteela can actually easily tank a Thunderbolt from the Sundress and kill it off with a EQ / Stone Edge. So I feel like there's no reason for him to over predict here, so I'm just gonna go hard into my Landorus. And right here, I'm going to catch him going for the Sundra. So Gravity is up. I can get it for free EQ. It hits every single team. I can scout for his Milotic set. And he is just going to go hard into Milotic as I get off of EQ. And that does 35%. So that tells me he's max defense, max HP, bold nature, Milotic. Right here, I know he's going to go for the recover, so I'm just going to go into my Starmie and attempt to get off a rapid spin. But he's actually going to go for his detail instead, so pretty good play. Right here, he's going to phase me back onto Landorus. I'm just going to continue switching in my Starmie, even though I'm getting chipped. I know he's going to go for a cover sooner or later, and I do want the rocks off my field as soon as possible. So he's going to go for his recover, and even if he goes into Palossand to spin block, he's taking Toxic, and I'm going to go for the double spin, because I know he's not going to stay in with Palossand on my Starmie, so, and I get leftovers recovery, so he's just going to go hard muck. I can rapid spin. If he wants to pursuit trap me, that's fine. I can just go into my Landorus. So yeah, I'm just going to go hard into my Celesteela here, because that, as I said, the Celesteela is to weaken the muck, so he's actually going to go for the sub. Really interesting play. Sub muck was not something I expected, but it makes sense after I seen it, because it's to prevent the Will-O-Wisp from my Cofagrigus onto the muck. So right here, I'm just going to go for the air slash to stuck the damage. It doesn't kill. And I'm going to go for the air slash again to force him to substitute. And right here, I can go for the metal sound on the A muck. So what this does is that this allows my Celesteela to force out his muck, because air slash is going to do a huge amount to him at -2, and he's going to be forced to go into Sundress or something similar to that. But unfortunately, we're going to miss our metal sound, and that is actually huge for me, because what that means is he's going to get off a free curse, and I'm forced to go for another metal sound, meaning he gets a free 40% off on my Celesteela. If I land in my first metal sound, then I can easily just go for the metal sound on the previous turn, and my Celesteela would be extremely, well, not extremely healthy, but healthy enough to the point where I can tank at least one more knockoff, and I would have gotten off at least 40% on this muck, weakening it greatly. So that was really unfortunate for me, and right here I'm stuck in this 50-50 because I missed the metal sound, and I'm going to go for the Leech Seed, expecting the Sundra switch in, because I do not expect him to let his muck get weakened that easily, because he still needs it for the Starmie. At least I think so. So if I was him, I would have definitely gotten to Sundra. So I'm going to go for the Leech Seed, expecting that. Unfortunately, he's just going to stay in and go for the knockoff and knock me out. So later he said that he did this because he wanted to just get rid of Celesteela right away, which I can understand, of course. It was just an over prediction on my part, but I still do stand by my play. If he went into Sundress on my Air Slash, I would have been in a pretty terrible situation. And if I got off an Air Slash on this muck, he would have been in a pretty bad situation, since that would have weakened his muck. And he's obviously revealed not to be Black Sludge. So right here, I took quite long for this play actually, and I'm going to go into my Starmie. So the reason I went into my Starmie is because Starmie is pretty useless against the rest of his team. I just need to prevent rocks. So the reason I went into Starmie is because Scald at -2 does about like 40% to his muck if he's max Spadef. And if I get a burn on this muck, then I'm just going to go for a game with my Zard, because I'm playing from the back now. So I have to go for these type of plays. If I go for Scald, I can weaken it in range of the EQ, and if I get the burn, then I'm just gonna go for a game. So Scald, I do believe this was definitely my optimal play, but unfortunately we do not get the burn, and he's gonna knock us out. So we're gonna go into Landorus here. We have to go for the EQ here. There's nothing else I can go. Nothing else I can do. He's gonna go into his Milotic to tank that. I'm gonna SD up, predicting the recovery. He's not gonna detail there. So right here I can go for the EQ and get off a huge chunk and 2-hit KO the Milotic, because I know Scald does around max 78. So unfortunately he's gonna get his roll on his Scald as well. As you can see, it does around 64 to 77, and I was at 76. So that was a huge roll for me, because what that means is that if he didn't get the roll, we would have been in a 50 position where he could have gone hard as elf, which I can just Stone Edge and kill. So like it would have been in a way better situation for me, basically. And right here, because he's at 37, nothing on my team remaining kills this Milotic, and I'm forced to go my Zard to sub SD. So at this point, it was looking really bleak for me. The only way I can win is if I can double into my Zard on his A muck, set up an SD, and get off a high roll on his Milotic. And that's what I'm going to go for. So right here, I'm going to go for the SD, as he's going to recover, of course. And right here, I'm gonna hope if he misses his Dragon Tail, then I can win. Because if he misses his Dragon Tail, I can 2-hit KO the Milotic with a Dragon Claw into two Dragon Claws, and can Flame Charge up on his Lopunny / his Elf. So right here, I was hoping he would miss, but unfortunately he's gonna land, and things are looking really bleak. And he dragged me out into Cofragus. If he dragged me out into the Terrakion, I could have still doubled around, gone into the Cofragus on the Palisand, and then double back into Zard on the Amok. So like it's just a series of unfortunate events that happened to me. The Metal Sound miss into the rolls, but like I can't complain about Detail and Scout rolls. Those aren't hacks. The only really hacks is really the Metal Sound miss. So really unfortunate right here. He's gonna go for free recover. I have to go for the CMT to force him out. Shadow Pole does like 10% to this Milotic because I'm no special attack investment. So I have to go for the CM. He's at 63%. Right here, I'm going to pull a double into my Zard, expecting his Muck. He's not going to stay in because he needs that healthy for my Zard. Right here, I'm going to go for the SD, and he goes back into his Milotic. He takes burn damage. The only way for me to win is I manage to kill this Milotic right away. And as I said before, the roll is 47 to 47 to 50. Actually, let me just calc that right now. Show them calc. Sorry about this. I just really wanted to confirm. So +2 adamant against a Milotic. He's max defense. So +2 actually does no, that's Ferbis. What am I doing? That's Dragon Claw. So 52 to 62. Actually, that is way more than expected. So the only way for me to win here is if I get a high roll off on this Dragon Claw and manage to kill the Milotic, because then I still have a chance if I'm able to flame charge up on his Lopunny / Azelf. But unfortunately, we're not gonna get the roll, and that's gonna be game because he's gonna die to burn, and he's gonna go for a Scout to put me in range of everything from his attacks. He's gonna be able to go into Lopunny, even if I make a lot of good doubles at this point, sacking off my Cofragus to the Z to potentially go into Charizard to flame charge. I died to Fake Out since he's adamant, and there's no way I can win. So I was hoping I could crit the Palossand, and then somehow I can go into my I can win the game with Scarf CC, I guess. But yeah, it was really unfortunate game for me. I would say so. And he reveals to be Scarf itself at the end, so I don't know even if I got the raw Milotic I would have won. But I probably should have because I have decent bulk and can flame charge twice up on itself. And he has to sack at least 3 mons to be able to kill Fake Out kill my Zard. So yeah. Overall it was a unfortunate game. Considering the rolls, the Metal Sound, I do believe I had a really good chance to win this game if I landed the Metal Sound on the Muckalola first try. Because what that means is I could have been able to either keep my Celesteela healthy or go for or kill the Muck, and either would have been huge for me. And because if I killed the Muck, my Starmie would have still been alive, and my Starmie actually did a huge work. Did really well after his Muck went down. So really unfortunate game for me. I feel like I can't really be mad about this loss. I feel like I played this game extremely well, and unlike my game vs I where I choked like 50 times, I feel like I definitely had a good chance to win this game if I didn't miss and get high rolled on some of my plays. So in the end, we're gonna be 2-2. We lost vs Justin. Really good game though. It was a fun game for sure. The rolls and the hacks, the Metal Sound miss was a pretty unfortunate for me, but I'm not gonna get too salty over it. I know I played my best, and I feel like the only misplay I made this game was the Z on the Sunburst, and it wasn't even that large, so that large of a misplay. So I felt like it was a really unfortunate game, but yeah. So hopefully we can get back into the groove next game, and we're facing Alex week 5, I believe, which he's currently 0-4, so he's not in a very good position right now. But I do really want to win week 5 because or else I'm going to be bottom of my conference, which is going to be really bad for me. I'm going to be a relegation race if this continues. And I'm actually on a losing streak lately because I lost a few games in LD as well. So hopefully I can get back in my groove and claim my week 5 vs Alex. This game was really good, but was unfortunate that I had to have some hacks in it. But yeah, it's going to be it for my week 4 match vs Justin. Hope you all enjoyed this game. And yeah, see you guys next time.